4.
Number 4? Okay, number 4 of cooking with Jenjamin.
There you go.
Yes. And I know I recently posted on some chocolate chip, well, gluten-free chocolate chip pumpkin bread. And everybody seemed to want the recipe, and so I shared that recipe. And so I thought it would be important for us to kind of show the way I make it, since I don't necessarily follow the directions. I know that drives Ben crazy.
No.
But it is something that I've been using this recipe for quite some time, and it always works out, and it's awesome. And
it is. It's like super good.
It's amazing. So I just kind of wanted to show you what we were using. There's quite a bit of ingredients. It takes a little bit of time, but that's okay. The big thing is King Arthur gluten-free flour. I know we've talked about it in a couple other episodes, but it is amazing and it works beautifully. So this is the way to go with this recipe. I mean, I'm certain the recipe doesn't necessarily say, you know, only use this one, but they definitely recommend it, and so do I. So, so in a small container, I have mixed, let's see here, so I get this right, 1 3/4 cup of the flour, and 1.5 teaspoons of gluten-free baking powder. So we use Rumford, that is certified gluten-free. We did also a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and we are definitely sea salt people, so sea salt is what we used. Yep, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We used an organic cinnamon, and also a 1/2 teaspoon of organic ground nutmeg. So I'm going to just have Ben do a quick mixeroo of all of that, just a quick whisking. And then in here we have 1 1/4 cup of sugar, along with 1 stick of butter. And the recipe asks that it's just room temperature, but I melted it a little bit and never have an issue with that. So, and this has to be mixed with a mixer until it's light and fluffy, which is approximately 7 minutes. And then we'll start adding some other goodies. So I'm going to go ahead and start that while Ben's mixing that too, although that looks ready to go. Yeah, don't dump it in there. And we'll get this all mixed up. The sugar butter mixture is ready to roll, and the next step is to put in 3 eggs in here, 1 at a time, mixing this pretty well, and so we'll get those in here slowly but surely as we mix. And then after the eggs have been incorporated, or blended, it's probably a better, more appropriate word, then we're going to go ahead and put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and this is gluten-free, organic, pure vanilla extract. Ooh.
I'm measuring out puree.
Yes, Ben is doing a great job of mixing the puree, the pumpkin puree. So 2 teaspoons have gone in here. I'm going to go ahead and mix that really quickly, and then we'll put in the flour mixture.
1/4 cup, correct?
Yes. All right. Oops. So now we're going to go ahead and slowly incorporate the flour mixture. It does kind of go everywhere, so definitely apply it slowly. Okay, I'm going to have Ben go ahead and scrape the sides here quickly, but your dough should be kind of like a nice cake batter, maybe a nice thick dough kind of. It's definitely not like a clumping dough. It's just nice and soft. I don't know how to explain it, but I would say a cake batter is probably most likely what you would be running into in this at this point. And then there's 2 more items here that you have to put in. They do call for 3/4 cup of buttermilk. I think the very first time I put this together, I used buttermilk, and then whoever has buttermilk in their home. So I have used a 1/2 cup of 2% milk going forward, and it has always worked out. So, so just a recommendation, if you don't have buttermilk in the house, this is perfectly fine to use as well.
I don't think we noticed the difference.
No, absolutely not. I'm going to go ahead and mix this, and then we're going to put the puree in. And just to let you know, at this stage of the game, this smells outstanding. So, and then it's just the puree that we need to scoop in. And do you want to go ahead and try and scoop that in, I think? There we go. It just squirted right out there. And then this recipe is perfectly fine to just make the pumpkin bread, but you can also add nuts or fruit, dried fruit, chocolate chips, anything you'd like to add that you think would be a good combination. We're going to add chocolate chips tonight. We're doing gluten-free Enjoy Life. Chocolate chips, and I'm going to do a 1/2 cup. I think that's what I used the last time, and it worked out well. But you certainly can add as much or as little as you would like, depending on your preference. And once that's all in, we'll go ahead and I'm just going to do a quick zoomy zoom here and make sure it's all uploaded. Just fold in the chocolate chips. Benji, you want to do that?
I'm all about folding.
Okay. And it should be good. And then we're using a bread pan, but you can also, I've also used like a bundt cake, and 2 round, like the 8-inch or 9-inch pans. Those also work for this if you want to make a cake, because this is a nice sweet recipe, and it also is very moist, so it operates very well as a cake or anything else that you'd like. So
Does this need to be greased too?
it is greased. Yes, it is a greased pan. Really? So yep.
How about that?
And then the oven should be preheated to 350 when you do this. The cooking time varies a little bit, but they say about 1 hour and 15 minutes. And depending on the oven you're using, it's anywhere from 1 hour to 1 hour and 15 generally. And just as long as you insert a toothpick and it comes out clean, you should be good to go. But we'll get this loaded in here and get this in the oven, and we'll see you in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. The bread is done. As you can see, it is absolutely a masterpiece. It baked for about a good hour on this one, and just looks absolutely stunning. It helps that we have a beautiful bread pan that just makes everything really glorious, and it just slides right out of the pan, and it's just fantastic. Look at that sucker. And of course this is a King Arthur product as well, so
Yes.
we're fans. But yes, this is absolutely amazing, and I cheated and I ate a piece and I don't feel bad about it. So, and yes, it smells as good as it looks, and it tastes amazing. So very moist, very fantastic.
I really like the addition of the chocolate chips.
Yes.
I think they add kind of a nice, they make the flavor just a little bit more complex, so it makes it easier to eat a lot of it.
Yeah, so that's a good warning there that you need to be cautious, because yes, it does really create, I know it's a little bit of a slight bitter flavor because it's dark chocolate, and it's just beautiful. It just comes out so nice. So, you know, of course we'll be enjoying this for our Thanksgiving feast tomorrow.
If it makes it that long.
If it makes it that long, that is very true. So yeah, I mean, definitely, and this is kind of a cool recipe in that you can put a little sugar drizzle on it, or frosting, or whatever you'd like with it. Goes great with whipped cream, goes great with ice cream, or just as it is. Even it probably would be beautiful, I think, even with some butter or something too. It's just it's just a really, really versatile recipe, I think, and and yes, as you can see, Ben is very happy. So, and it lasts. I mean, if you're not gonna eat it right away, it definitely stays fresh for a while. I mean, I'd say a good 4 days or so. And then, you know, pop it in the fridge or the freezer for a week or two. I mean, it would be just fine. So, this is great. So, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you go out and make this yourself, because it's well worth it. You won't be disappointed. And until we see you on the next episode. Bye!
Bye, everybody.